Seahorses by Natalie Hewlett, Emilia Montoya, and Audrey Brown.
Mr. Seahorse, I see you over there. You're just swimming around without a care. Where are you going? Where you been today? Come over here, please, Mr. Seahorse. You seem like a cool guy. Can we be friends? If we hang out, what would we do, Mr. Seahorse? I think you're pretty cool, Mr. Seahorse. I see you swimming over there. Is that your friend there, Mr. Blowfish? Is he your friend? Well, that's cool. I like him as well, Mr. Seahorse. Do you race around underwater and try to get the crown and the money and the races, or do you just lay around without a care, Mr. Seahorse? Can we be friends, Mr. Seahorse? This is how the song ends. So if you were planning on answering, now's the time, Mr. Seahorse. Can we be friends?
The basics. Seahorses are scientifically classified in Kingdom Animalia, phylum Chlorodonta, class Acnorhynchidae, and their genus name is Hippocampus. There are currently 35 known species of seahorse in the world. Many people do not know that seahorses are actually fish and are not related to a horse in any way. Seahorse. He's doing it wrong. The pipefish, located at the bottom of the image, is the closest known relative to the seahorse. They are demersal fish, living in tropical and temperate seas. Seahorses may not physically look like fish, but they share an abundant amount of characteristics with them. These characteristics can be found in the following: digestive system, circulatory system, and nervous system.
Locomotion. The dorsal fin and pectoral fins are the primary locomotive organs in seahorses. They are very slow swimmers. The small dorsal fins beat at high oscillatory frequencies, likely exceeding the point of flicker fusion for their predators, thus enhancing their ability to remain cryptic or hidden. At the top of the image, you can see an example of a pectoral fin, and toward the lower region, you can see an example of the dorsal fin. Seahorses, once again, are very slow swimmers. They move as if they are going nowhere. Reproduction. Step 1. Choosing a mate. Many seahorses are monogamous, meaning that they mate for life. Evidence suggests that monogamy in seahorses may be because when a seahorse remains with a single partner, they seem to get gradually better at producing offspring. Male seahorses have one clear motive when it comes to selecting a mating partner: to increase their reproductive success. By being choosy and preferring larger females, they are likely to have more and bigger eggs, as well as bigger offspring. During the mating season, male seahorses are highly active and show a clear preference for larger partners. In contrast, females are significantly less active and show ambiguous mating preferences. Care to dance? Step 2. Courtship. Viewer discussion is advised.
Courtship among seahorses is a peculiar thing. The male and female do what some would call a dance. Male and female seahorses may engage in this courtship every single day, even if there is no egg exchange. There are two major segments that make up this dance, which include the pre-dawn dance and the true courtship dance. Pre-dawn dance. During the pre-dawn dance, the male and female may change color. They swim side by either holding tails or by gripping the same strand of seagrass with their tails and will around it in unison. True courtship dance. This segment can last anywhere between 8 hours to 3 days, depending on the species of seahorse. The male pumps water through the egg pouch, also known as the brood pouch, on his trunk, which expands and opens to display the pouch's emptiness. Once the female's eggs reach the high point of maturity, she and her mate let go of the seagrass and touch snout to snout while linking tails. This process is known as hitching. They begin to drift upward out of the seagrass and begin to spiral repeatedly, similar to a dance motion as they rise in the water. Lastly, the female then inserts her ovipositor into the male's brood pouch and deposits the eggs. When doing the true courtship dance, the two seahorses' bodies combine to resemble a heart, so they hold symbolic true love meaning to some cultures. Still, a better love story than Twilight.
Brood pouch. On the left, we have a female. On the right, we have a male. As you can tell, the female's body goes a little bit more inward, while the male protrudes more outward. Yes, it is the male that holds the eggs and gives birth to the newborn. Opposite of what we see in humanity. Weird, huh? But nice. The brood pouch in the male seahorse is capable to hold up to 2,000 eggs at a time, dependent on the species. Holy cow. Reasons why I want to be a seahorse. The male gets pregnant. They hold tails with their mate when they find them. They stay with the mate for the rest of their lives. When the mate dies, they die too. The male gets pregnant, the guy gets pregnant, the dude gets pregnant. Someone other than the female endures pain. The guy gets pregnant, and lastly, the male becomes impregnated. Finally, the female can relax and unwind. Step 3. Pregnancy. Once all the eggs are inserted, the male goes to a nearby coral or seaweed and grabs on with his tail to wait out gestation, the process of carrying or being carried in the womb between conception and birth, which may last up to several weeks. However, the female does not abandon the male like most aquatic animals. For the next 2 to 4 weeks, the female visits the male each and every morning for a brief greeting dance before they separate for the rest of the day. Surprisingly, it is the male's sole responsibility, rather than the female's, to take care of the young. The father will care for the young as they grow inside his brood pouch, regulating the water salinity, salt levels, in the pouch to prepare them for life in the sea. The father may also change in color rapidly. While the male is pregnant, he will move very little, no more than a few centimeters. Step 4. Giving birth.
Behavioral changes indicate birth is imminent. His respiration increases. Compare his respiration with the female's. He rapidly changes color. It only took 4 seconds to change. What a difference! The contractions start and become more violent. Until finally, achoo! Damn.
Looks like he's almost sneezing. Man, that's a lot of babies.
Hang on, I'm not quite finished.
And there you go.
There we have it. This species of seahorse can give birth to over 1,800 babies. A very tired dad drops to the floor for recovery.
Weakling.
No rest for the wicked though. The female full of eggs is ready to make more babies.
After about 2 to 6 weeks of pregnancy, tiny seahorses hatch and emerge from the pouch. The male squeezes his body to push groups of hatched seahorses out. This can take as long as 2 days and can leave the male weak from exhaustion. Once the male seahorse finishes giving birth, he often gets pregnant again right away, sometimes as early as the very next morning. No thanks. While the male may go the extra mile to give birth, the parents do not provide their offspring with any care or protection after they are born. These newborns are called fry or juveniles. Newborn seahorses are tiny, just a few millimeters, but grow just 1/4 of a millimeter daily over the first few weeks. Wow, that's tiny. Full grown, they may be 4 to 5 inches long and look like exact miniature replicas of the parents. Hello up there! I can hardly see you.
Step 5. Survival of the newborns. When baby seahorses are birthed, they immediately latch on the first thing they come into contact with to avoid harm. Infant seahorses are susceptible to death from both predators and being swept away by ocean currents, where they easily drift away from their feeding grounds. Fewer than 5 infant seahorses in every 1,000 survive to adulthood. This may explain why their litters can be so massive. Matured offspring have a lifespan up to 4 years. By fish standards, however, seahorses have a fairly high survival rate because they are sheltered in the father's pouch during the earlier stages of development. The eggs of other fish are abandoned immediately after fertilization. Seahorses are harvested in both the eastern and western hemisphere, either for food, medicine, or to be put on display, thus making the species decline. Environmental problems have also caused a decline. Many problems in the environment are due to climate changes, overfishing, and increasing the coastal population. Over 20 million seahorses have been traded for medicines, food, and aquariums by 77 countries around the world.
Seahorses are harvested in the eastern hemisphere for food. Here are some tasty treats that use seahorses as a primary ingredient, ranging from soup to kebabs. Yuck. Seahorses are also harvested for medicine to treat muscle pains, asthma, and sexual arousement. Odd, huh? Lastly, seahorses get caught for souvenirs and are put on display in aquariums. Poor seahorses. The end.